Welcome back. We're holding a debate today between Chris Hopewell and Patrick Leahy, the two Democrats running to see who will face incumbent state Senator Don Humison for the 2nd Hampden and Hampshire district seat. They're in the middle of a Lincoln and Douglas style debate where the candidates are asking each other questions with time for answers and rebuttal. Chris Hopewell gets the next question. Chris?
Thank you, Rich. In the past, you have stated publicly that the legislation on medical marijuana dispensaries is, and I quote, a joke. Have you had a change of mind on this issue, and have you done any research on the issue?
That's a great question, Chris, and it's a misquote and a mischaracterization of my position on it. I stated publicly several times that a doctor should be able to prescribe anything that he feels is efficacious in the treatment of his patient. There's no reason that the Massachusetts government should stand between what the doctor and the patient wants to do. I believe that the process that was put in place created another level of bureaucracy that the people of Massachusetts, quite frankly, are tired of. More bureaucracy, more overhead, and it just creates, we don't need a few people becoming multimillionaires off of the legalization of marijuana.
Rebuttal.
Patrick, again, you've got to look at the evidence-based literature in the American Journal of Medicine, American Journal of Neurology that looks at the positive effects of medical marijuana for someone with acute myeloid leukemia who can't eat, who can't drink, and no other therapy works. This isn't about legislation, it isn't about creating a bigger policy, it's about helping people overcome very, very significant diseases and help them improve their quality of life. The legislation that's being proposed is therapeutic.
Patrick Leahy, your next question, please.
Chris, as I've gone door to door, one of the top priorities in the district is that people want to talk about and keep talking about, besides education, is public safety. What are you going to do as a senator to make our district safer?
Thank you for asking that question. First and foremost, during my tenure at the Office of Chief Medical Examiner, I saw up close and personal the areas that we need to improve with the Office of Chief Medical Examiner. If you look at the literature, if you look at if you ask DA Sullivan, DA Capeless, and now Judge Mastriani, what actually takes place in that particular office is really a disgrace for Western Mass. We need a better plan. I have a better plan. I've worked there, I've seen, and we need a state-of-the-art forensic facility built in this district, and I will do that when I'm a state senator.
Rebuttal.
Well, Chris, that's very important, and I agree with you. But I feel that the #1 priority in public safety is to make it a priority. Right now, departments throughout our district are understaffed. Holyoke alone hasn't had a full complement of police officers in years. I think we need to have a state senator, and I promise to do this when I get down there, to get the funding back to the cities and towns to work with the mayors to make sure we have a full complement of public safety officers.
Mr. Hopewell, your next question, please.
Mr. Leahy, could you outline for the voters of the district how your 10 years of public service compares to my 30 years of public service, military service, and how you could better serve our district in the state Senate?
Absolutely, and I appreciate your service. This position is a very important one. We are poised to be partnered up with Stan Rosenberg, who will be the first Senate president from Western Massachusetts. My career in the public safety, my career in real estate and in sales and working for Shannon O'Brien has given me the unique set of skill set to represent us, people that work in the private sector, people that work in the public sector, and the people who work in public safety.
Rebuttal.
My record of service to this community has been well documented. Over 35 years in the military, in this district, helping people in the worst periods of their life. And I'm going to continue doing that. This is where I am in my life after 35 years, and this is what I know I can do to bring the tax dollars, to bring caring, compassionate, honorable, and integrity into this Mass State Senate. And I plan on doing that. It's how I was brought up, and that's what I will do as a state senator.
Patrick Leahy, your next question, please.
Chris, our opponent, Mr. Humison, has stated publicly that he will only do 2 debates, that he thinks 2 debates is enough for the people of the 2nd Hampden, Hampshire to decide who they're going to vote for. In addition to flip-flopping on almost all of his major positions since he was first elected, will you stand with me in asking whoever the Democratic nominee is that there be at least 5 debates in the general election?
Patrick, thanks for that question. I totally agree with that. I think Senator Humison needs to, defend his record. The last time around during a special election, I think he was given a free ride. And certainly, between both of us, we will challenge him on his record on pro-choice. We will certainly look at his record on allowing 2 people who love each other in this district to marry. I think he's completely out of touch on that. And certainly his 10 years and his 1 year as a state senator certainly leads us to a very interesting 5 debates, and I look forward to that.
Rebuttal.
Well, Chris, I appreciate you agreeing with that. It's so important that we have the debates. We've had some great debates, and I don't think we've turned down an opportunity to debate, sometimes holding signs on the street corner. It's so important that we have this robust discussion so that people can understand our positions and where we are and how we will represent. That's why whomever the Democratic nominee is, I hope that Mr. Humison will agree to at least 5 debates for the general election.
Chris Hopewell, your next question, please.
Lastly, Patrick, as you said, we are both going to go against the Republican incumbent. And I have consistently released policies that highlight how I would serve our community better than our sitting Republican senator. Again, what policies have you released, and what is your plan to challenge the current senator on his record?
That's a great question, Chris. And I'm glad to say today we'll be announcing that we've outraised everyone in the race, including the incumbent state senator. We've put together a grassroots team that is knocking on more doors and making more phone calls than almost any other race in the state. This is the most important race in Western Massachusetts. We need to make sure that whomever comes out of the Democratic nomination has the ability, the resources, and the teamwork to get elected November 4th. I'm putting those things in place right now. We'll be challenging Don on the street corners. We'll be challenging him on the doorsteps. We'll be challenging him here on Channel 22 News. Don Humison won't be able to run from his record. He won't be able to run from his lack of a record if I'm the Democratic nominee.
Rebuttal.
Certainly, Senator Humison has some explaining to do on his record. And I firmly believe that I have the background, I have certainly the experience to stand toe-to-toe with the senator and clearly outline his policies which are not in touch with this district, specifically on his right for a woman to choose her own reproductive health, and for any man or woman, or anyone for that matter, to allow themselves or to.
Okay, time is up, gentlemen. It's time for your closing statements, and each candidate will get 1 minute for a closing statement. Patrick Leahy will go first.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Channel 22, and thank you so much for tuning in. I want to thank Chris for being here today. It's so vital that you're paying attention to this race. There are so many decisions to be made this September 9th, and I hope that you'll pull the lever for Patrick Leahy. We have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity here with Stan Rosenberg being the senator from Amherst who's going to be the next Senate president. We need to put somebody in place that can work on his team and not against him. We can't put somebody back in office who has just only been reelected. That is his only claim to fame. I am Patrick Leahy. I'm running for state senate because I'm not going to speak their language down in Boston. I'm going to speak your language, and I'm going to represent you. Advocacy of your issues, our issues here in the 2nd Hampden, Hampshire district is what I'm going to do down in Boston. A vote for Patrick Leahy is a vote for a better 2nd Hampden, Hampshire district. Thank you.
Chris Hopewell, your closing statement, please.
We need a state senator that is ready to lead on the big issues in our Commonwealth. I offer an alternative to the status quo with experience and know-how to represent you. My experiences have taught me that we must approach the problems with smart strategies and not rhetoric. The big issues are here now. They're not waiting for anyone, and I'm not waiting for them. I've been leading on these issues my entire career, and I'm prepared to lead as your state senator. We can't afford to send an underprepared senator to Boston, and we know the stakes in this general election. We need a Democrat in this seat, and I am prepared to be that Democrat. My name is Chris Hopewell. I'm running to be your state senator, and I respectfully ask for your vote on September 9th. And remember, vote well with Chris Hopewell. Thank you.
Well, that concludes our look at the Democratic candidates running for state senator in the 2nd Hampden and Hampshire District. Thanks to Chris Hopewell and Patrick Leahy for joining us this afternoon. Primary day is Tuesday, September 9th. If you missed any of today's debate, you can see it again on wwlp.com. I'm Rich Teddemer. Thanks for joining us and have a good afternoon.